Believe me, that was a happy age before the days of architects, before the days of builders. Meaning, the older, archaic it is in nature, character, action, appeal, appearance, the better, bigger, greater, more significant it usually is, and it generally turns out to be in one way or another, and that means all things and all people, and essentially everything else also belonging to ancient, classical, and even uh, precedent times was genuinely, actually, inherently great, significant, moral, authentic, virtuous, distinct, and sovereign in one way or another. But the more the modern it is, the more miserable, troublesome, anxious, obsessive, wicked, or dangerous it usually turns out to be in its creation, development, and inventions, such as gadgets, phones, cars, social media, and essentially everything else that has driven us into the abyss of depression, anxiety, tension, comparison, hostility, and ignorance, arrogance towards one another, and also when feel very fatigued, disturbed, disappointed. We also are deeply, profoundly, irreparably, immovably frustrated, fatigued, tired, worn out, drained emotionally, mentally, psychologically, psychically, obviously because of our constant need of exposure to not only social media but also to modern society, to modern and authoritarian, arbitrary organizations, institutions, power structures, and evil, wicked forces. We have to expose ourselves to them, otherwise, we're not going to be given honor, reciprocity, success, money, fame, status, influence in return. So we become ultimately influential, successful, wealthy because of our submission, surrender, exposure to all these external, hostile, societal, malicious, arbitrary forces and peoples and organizations and agencies and institutions, whatever you want to call them, but they're evil because they have turned us into slaves by enslaving our freedom, subjugating our desires, exploiting, manipulating our needs, compulsions, conditions, circumstances, situations in which we find ourselves that we can't even focus upon ourselves. They literally destroyed our freedom and absorbed our mind. Now we don't engage in critical thinking, reasonable behavior, rational attitudes, logical actions, analytical perception behaviors anymore because we're now bots, enslaved, dominated robotic machines and slaves. And obviously, the older days were better. The people were better. There was no technology, science around to destroy anything at all. But